Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the studios of Grafton Community Television at 26 Providence Road. I'm Bob DeToma, and this is Meet the Candidate. My guest this afternoon in studio is Dawn Anderson, who is running again for town moderator. Hi.
Hi, Bob. It's good to see you.
We were talking about all things TV before the show started, so let's get back on track.
Okay.
You are running unopposed.
Yes.
And that makes life easy, doesn't it?
It does make it easy. Yes, I have signs, but I haven't had to dust them off. But I have them ready to go if I need them.
So we got big doings. It's the 250th anniversary of this great nation.
Yes.
And I understand you are looking to do some interesting things, or you're going to keep them close to your vest today.
Well, I think I want people to come to town meeting, so I'm going to give a little teaser. Last year, for those of you who came, you may remember that we added a new word to the bingo card, quite a big word, semi-quincentennial. So we will be continuing along those lines and discussing some more new information that I've learned about Grafton's role in the American Revolution and some of the key people from Grafton who were revolutionaries and patriots, which is exciting. We'll be having the Grafton Middle School students coming, attending as observers before they go on their Washington, D.C. field trip. And this year is the anniversary of the first group that I ever invited to attend, to come as observers. The 8th graders that I invited for our first group are now seniors. So I have been reaching out through Grafton High School, and I've posted some social media videos inviting those seniors who are going to be 18 or older by May 1st to register to vote and come, because now they can attend as participants. So I'm excited for that. And we have a few other surprises in the works I haven't finalized yet. We do have the poster contest that I initiated last year with Grafton Middle School, inviting the artists to create a poster to promote town meetings. So those will be going out wherever the warrants are. There'll be a copy of the winning design, and it will be on display at town meeting and also on display at the Municipal Center going forward.
Nice.
Yeah. Evan scooped that up last year after the meeting and said, I think we're going to frame this and start a nice little wall of recognition for the student artist.
Right. Yeah. So I know that you frequently go to town moderator training, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah, something like that.
How often do you go?
We have an annual meeting every fall for the Massachusetts Moderators Association. It's a full day. The last few years have been at the College of Holy Cross, so it's super convenient for me, and I love it. And we have guest speakers. We do kind of Socratic method scenarios and brainstorming and debate on how to handle different real things that have happened at different town meetings. And that way you can kind of talk through how you would have handled it versus how someone else handled it. And then at the end, they reveal how it was handled and what the pros were and the cons of that specific event. And this past year, we had the Lieutenant Governor came and presented the Moderators Association with a citation recognizing the work that we did for the Spark of a Revolution to promote the coming semi-quincentennial. And then we also have regional meetings in the spring every year. So ours was just about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and that's usually out in like I'm in Central. So it's, again, super convenient to get to. And it's just like a coffee, pastries, and just a lot of discussion about what is happening at the town level in everyone's individual towns. There was a lot of discussion about Proposition 2.5 overrides at this year's meeting. There's been discussions about citizens petitions because they oftentimes will go through trends. So a few years ago, we had quite a few book bans proposed through citizens petitions that was circulating throughout the towns, the different towns. So it's an opportunity for us to get into some really specific things that are happening in our area and kind of talk and brainstorm. So, yeah.
How many town moderators are there roughly in the Commonwealth?
For as many towns as have town meetings, there are town moderators, but we do not have full attendance. That's actually...
That was my...
Susan Clark is the chair of the membership committee, and she's been doing an amazing job. Just literally, there's a lot of small towns in Massachusetts don't have the really robust websites like Grafton does for all. I hear good things, I hear bad things. The new website, I think, is a big improvement over the old website. But there are some towns that don't have anything more than just a little placeholder page that just has a phone number and the address. So they've been literally calling towns in a list to try and track down the names and the contact information and get them more involved. So
Do the town moderators share their horror stories about town meeting?
absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
my good friend who I ruck with in the morning talks about his town where they sometimes go 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. And I go, well, our town moderator, she bangs it out in one night. So
Yeah, there are some towns that I know our sister's town, Westboro, has their town meetings beginning on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. That's always been the way they've done it. And it goes through lunch, through dinner. They'll pause, come back on Sunday. So there are a lot of different ways that different towns do it. My favorite is, and I don't know what town does it, is that there are some towns that use the bingo ball method instead of following the articles in the order that they appear in the warrant. They put the total number of balls, numbered balls in the bingo machine and turn the crank and pull the number and boom,
So
that's
that you can't come and
you
go.
can't come and go. You can't,
once my
stack the decks.
Right.
It's like,
warrant is called,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. And there'll be people who are definitely, oh, yay, number 6 is the first one, and that's the one I was here for.
Yeah.
But you could be number 1 and not get pulled until the very end.
Sure.
So it's,
Fascinating.
it's a gamble.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is cool.
Yeah.
So when you say the meetings for training are well attended, 100 people? Less
Yeah,
than
we
100?
usually have about, I want to say 100 and 150.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
not full attendance, but we do have moderators that come all the way from Martha's Vineyard to go to the meeting. That's a big commitment. People who come from fairly far out in Western Mass will drive out up in the north.
On your own dime.
Or, yeah, and we pay to attend. Like there's a fee for attending. It pretty much just covers the location fee and
Yeah.
the food.
Sure.
But
Well-
yeah, we've had some amazing guest speakers. We've had a woman from Vermont who's literally written a book on Vermont town meeting, has come and been a guest speaker for us. That was really nice. It was a few years ago.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I noticed you brought some notes.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. In case you ran out of questions for me, is you did ask about training that I do as the moderator, but outside of that, this spring I was invited to participate in the first ever symposium about New England town meeting titled Deliberation and Division Challenge in New England town meeting. And I was asked to participate on the panel, the future panel of what we're seeing now and going into the future for town meeting.
Coming trends.
And I was the only moderator on the panel. The other panelists were the chair of the public policy department at UMass Amherst. There was someone who is in the Mass Municipal Association and a professor from Connecticut. And we were all talking about, what we're doing. And I kind of stuck to what we've done here. I talked about inviting the 8th graders and really how important it's been to me to build up that community involvement with younger people, and talked about the bingo cards that Amy Marr instituted, and now they've become incredibly popular, that sometimes we even throw them out at Fall Town meeting and have a few. So they really liked that. I talked about inviting the seniors this year as the first group that I had ever invited as 8th graders. We talked about the new electronic voting machines that we got. We invested in new machinery after our system failed, after sitting in a closet during COVID, and how that is, how do I want to phrase it? It's not stackable, but it's expandable. So we bought 400 clickers, but other towns will buy another 400 clickers, and they're sequential. So if we need more clickers for a meeting, we can call Upton and say, we're expecting a bigger turnout than average. So can we borrow your base station and your clickers, and we can plan for extra people and not run out of those resources. And we talked about just the Moderators Association's semi-quincentennial initiative and learning about the history of your town and how it relates to the revolution and how interesting that is as it relates to now we're just voting on bylaws and zoning, but those things really shape the direction of the town. And some of the things that we do that are, non-binding resolutions where we're speaking out in support of something or speaking out against something, those are the things that were done 250 years ago that led us to gathering on the Common and sending 100 men from Grafton into Boston to fight. So it's been very interesting and rewarding. And I was really excited to have so many people, moderators, come up to me after the session and say, do you think I could borrow a copy of do you have any extra copies of your bingo cards? I'm like, yes, I do. And the quick guide that I created for the 8th graders that first year that kind of gives you a very simple, what's a motion, what's an article, what's a warrant, who's the town clerk, who's the town moderator, or like what are these different, what are we doing here, why are we here? And I shared out a bunch of those with other moderators throughout the Commonwealth. So it was really well received. I was very pleased with how that came out.
Interesting.
And as a result of being at that event, I was invited to participate at an upcoming event, May 8th, called 1-8. It's an applied learning student showcase. It's historically been focused on STEM projects where students come in and present kind of like a science fair project.
Sure.
But this year they're adding civics and history, so they wanted to cast a wider net with people with the expertise in those areas. And after the symposium at UMass Amherst, I got an email from one of the other moderators and said, I think you might be interested in participating in this. They need volunteers. So if you need me on Friday, May 8th, I'll be at the track at New Balance. Looking for, Grafton is sending students, actually emailed the PDF of this to Dr. Cummings and asked him if he could give me a heads up as to which schools from Grafton's district would be there so I can make a point to go over and say hello. So.
Very cool.
Yeah, I like to keep busy.
You, if I remember correctly, you gave a lot of thought to your reelection bid for town moderator.
Good.
And had you chosen not to run, would you recruit someone? Or is that not considered above board?
Oh, no, I definitely would have.
Or would you have just stepped away and let the
I think I would have
chips-
just backed up and said, if you have questions, I'm not doing it. If you want to know how it's done and you're interested, my door is open. But I would kind of let the field be what the field is. Although I did hear from a few people that
What are you, nuts?
that I was going to be running whether I wanted to or not. And if I didn't pull papers, then I would
We
be
know where you
invited out
live.
for drinks, and then my papers would be complete by the time the
Right,
evening was over. So I didn't really have, I had hesitated. I was looking into going back to school. My oldest is moving up to college next year, so we're going to have one less person to be an Uber for. And I was looking into going to college to get my master's, and that would have been through my employer. But unfortunately, my employer eliminated my entire department in the fall, so that opportunity disappeared. And what else am I going to do with my time?
You have to be town moderator. I think it's pretty clear.
Kind of, it was like fate stepped in and said, let's do this.
Right. Good. Well, I'm glad. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to talk to the folks at home, as if they don't know who you are, but there's probably somebody,
I might be somebody.
and I think you know which camera is yours.
Town meeting is the oldest form of democracy that this country has. And over the last 5 years being town moderator, it has become more and more of my passion to make sure that we have people in the room that reflect the community of Grafton. And it's so important that you come out to town meeting and that you take the time on May 19th to go out to the ballot and make a vote, make your voice heard. We are a democracy, and your voice and your vote in Grafton really does make a difference, because it's not like you're voting for a concept and then giving to someone else to bring across the finish line. This is the finish line, is the ballot box. So I'm Dawn Anderson. I ask for your vote on May 11th, and I really do hope to see you at town meeting on May 11th.
My guest in studio today has been Dawn Anderson. She's running for town moderator, the position she currently holds. And thank you for coming in today. On behalf of all of the talented people that work here at Grafton Community Television, this has been Meet the Candidate. I'm Bob DeToma. Thank you for watching.